Hello, and welcome back to another The Best Wargaming podcast.
What's up?
I'm Taylor. This is Colton, my co-host,
Yes, sir.
and we are doing lazy content today. We're doing a tier list.
Tier list, baby.
It's right after Christmas, right after New Year's, so we're just going to start this year off a little easy, and we're going to give some predictions about what we think you might see competitively here in the next month or two before the next data slate. So, kicking it off, we got Custodes, one of my armies. I think that they're going to go into strong. I don't think they're the best, but I definitely think with the new Solar Spearhead, Solar Watch, whatever it's called, I think it's got a ton of play because you're already bringing grav tanks, and then in the recent data slate, the Virtus Praetors got a blow up. So I think you're definitely going to see that detachment more probably than Shield Host, which was the other good one, or maybe even Talons, because Talons had a lot of play too. What do you think, Colton?
It also makes Dreadnoughts fun and good. Giving them extra 2 inches to movement, they have access to advance and charge. You give one of them a 5-up feel no pain. You give another one attack, strength, damage. It's just solid. I think it's very good.
The Dreadnoughts are they're just good, honestly. I think it's leaning more towards the shooting Dreadnoughts, like the Telemon and the just regular Venerable Dreadnought, because the Venerable Dreadnought stands up on a 2-up at the end of a phase, and you can slap a 5-up feel no pain on him potentially, so that's just super strong.
Yep. The only thing that scares me about that specific detachment is not having a feel no pain immortals for anything.
100%. Yeah, I totally agree.
I think it's still really good.
It got all the right improvements that it needed. Like the Dreadnoughts desperately needed the plus 2 inches to move, and then the bikes and the grav tanks definitely needed the strat to go through a wall. But I still think it has the same issues that Custodes had before, where they just don't have enough stuff to play the game like other armies do. We just don't have enough action monkeys and like tools to score secondary. So
you think it should go in strong? You think it's a solid? Or you think it's going to go in strong?
No, I think it's still strong.
Okay.
That was my reasoning for it not being in the best, because I don't think it has the tools to be in the best.
Yeah, a bunch of the movement shenanigans.
Yeah.
Next up, we got generic Space Marines. Talk about a glow up that last data slate.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
100%. It's something that they desperately needed to set themselves apart from the chapter specific Space Marines, because a lot of them had so many good characters. It's like, why would you ever just run generic Space Marines? And now you have a reason.
Gilliman is crazy strong. Uriel Ventress, Mag, and Marnius Calgar. Getting +1 to wound against your ARC target or your OAF target now. So many data sheets got to glow up. Reavers got extra AP. They now have -1 OC. Outriders got buffed. What's the big one that got buffed? I can't think of it now. Sternguard.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Sternguard. Disgusting.
I think this is definitely belongs up here. It's
I think so too.
It's going to be insane. You're going to see a lot of it. It's even just the +1 to wound so strong that you can even consider some of the I can't think what the word is. The other Space Marine, like Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and just not even taking their characters just so you can get the +1 to wound.
Yeah, 100%. I think you get Calgar too in his bodyguard unit. That's like super hard to chew through on top of all the other tools that you get with it. I think you definitely have the tools to be in the best for the next couple months.
And their Librarius, their Grotmus detachment's just solid. It makes stuff crazy better.
Yeah. Space Wolves, I think that they're just a solid choice. I don't think with the Stormlance nerf, I guess not the detachment specifically, but the Thunderwolf cavalry got nerfed a ton. So they went up a ton in points, so that list doesn't really work as well. So I think that you're just leaning towards the generic chapter for right now, unless you're just like super into Space Wolves and go off. But I think they're just solid.
They are. Their Grotmus detachment wasn't great. Having a free heroic is great, but when it's only 3 inches, it's way too easy to measure out.
I think it should have been 6 inches.
It should. There's an enhancement for making 1 unit 6, and that's a crazy strong rule. But when everything else is only 3, it's
Yeah, I think if you're basing that whole identity in your detachment, I think it's fine if it's 6 inches.
Yeah,
because they don't really have anything else to compensate for not having it. Like, if that's their only thing, then like just give them the 6 inches, you know.
Especially when Dark Angels and World Eaters both got a 6-inch charge stratagem in their Grotmus detachments.
And did you say Grey Knights? Because Grey Knights did too, didn't they?
Grey Knights got a 6-inch deep strike, and you can charge from that deep strike if you're not a Terminator.
Okay, yeah.
So they all got it. Space Wolves, it could have easily been 6, especially when the detachment's focused around Terminators, and you don't really want to take Terminators anyways. So.
Right.
Next up, we got Blood Angels. Blood Angels nothing really changed for them in the data slate points wise. Sanguinary Guard went down like 5 points, which is a good. They're probably still too expensive, kind of. Outriders got a big buff. They're +1 damage now, which on the charge in Blood Angels you go to 6, 7, 1, 2. That's a crazy 15 attacks. It's just solid.
The Outriders in our last game felt very strong.
They get an extra strength on the charge too, and I wasn't even doing that. I didn't realize it until I read it afterwards.
Did you need it?
No, I don't.
I think you were just winning me on 3 regardless.
At all.
I think they're strong. I think they're between strong and solid choice.
I feel like this honestly should probably be a meh. And I think this is just solid choice. I don't know. I think you can still just kind of outperform Blood Angels. The new detachment they got's really strong. We'll have to see how it does. Giving reroll 1s to hit and wound to all character units is a really good rule. Don't know if it's better than just getting +2 strength and +1 attack on the charge, but I think they're a solid choice.
I think the issue that I see with Blood Angels is I feel like they want to run their elite infantry units, but they're too expensive. But also it's hard to balance like the Sanguinary Guard that are going to be -1 to hit, -1 to wound. And that's incredibly hard to deal with, but armies that can deal with it deal with it very fast.
It's only in melee too, so you can just shoot them, and then they're T4 bodies. They're just
100%. I'm not going to lie, I was running some Rollhammer math and seeing how many I could kill with my flash kits. Like, if you armor Contempt and they're just on a 2-up, I kill 2 or 3 pretty consistently.
I would imagine you kill a bunch of them still. I mean, you're going to fail 2-ups eventually.
Yeah.
Death Watch. I'm keeping a buck with you. I don't know a lot about Death Watch.
I don't know shit about Death Watch. Put it in solid choice and we'll move on.
I know that Colton seemed pretty happy about it, so...
We should have asked Colton about it.
We should.
I don't. It came out early too, so like I don't even remember like what it does.
It got removed, and when it got added back, I was like, "That's cool. I'm not reading it."
Sick.
I don't know Death Watch.
Awesome.
Doesn't matter.
Dark Angels. I think they're a solid choice. I think they're stronger the best, to be honest.
You think Dark Angels are?
I think Deathwing Knights are still just so good.
They are just crazy durable. Their new detachment's very interesting. I want to try running it in a game.
Yeah.
It's a completely different play style than what just running Gladius.
Yeah, I think I would love as a Dark Angels player, or if I was a Dark Angels player, I would love running Samael with Ravenwing Knights.
Yes.
Because that combo seems very strong. I don't think that those Ravenwing players have really gotten a lot of love. It's all been about the Deathwing, like the Terminators and Inner Circle companions, but I think the Ravenwing would get a chance to shine.
So you can run him with that, or you run him with Outriders because they make him damage 3 on the charge because they give the +1 damage to everything in their unit.
True, bro.
And Outriders make him very good. Their buff was crazy good. But I mean, other than that, I don't think Dark Angels is one that you would run non-generic Space Marines to get the +1 to wound, because Dark Angels really rely on all of their.
They have so many good chapter-specific units. I think you just run them as is, but I think they're still strong.
Yeah, strong is definitely good. Black
Templars. I think that they just go in solid choice. The Crusader spam got nerfed. And I don't think they really changed too much about it in this last data slate, but they still have access to other Space Marine things, and they still do.
Yeah.
I think that you can. I think the best is like, hey, you're going to see these winning tournaments. Strong is you'll see them every now and then. Solid choice is like
they can win in some tournaments, like RTTs.
They'll probably RTTs for sure. Mez, like, you're not going to see these at all. And Papa Nurgle's ass cheeks are like, you're not ever going to see him, I don't think.
I don't think there's even very many armies that'll be down there at the end of it. The game's
Agents.
pretty, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
That one guy wanted attachment or wanted GT with them. No, that was Sisters. That. I'm thinking of that whenever he took Sisters and Custodes. It's Nick's buddy. I can't think of his name.
What is that fucking detachment called? Null Maiden.
It's called Papa Nurgle's ass cheeks, brother.
Yeah. Except for that one guy, he just knows. But Black Templars, that's just a solid choice. It's Space Marine stuff.
It's still a type of game where if you don't have the tools to handle that many bodies, you just gonna lose.
Yep.
Eldar, their new detachment's okay. I heard it wasn't very great. It's kind of whatever. They're getting their codex soon, so it's kind of weird to rank them because they're probably changed. I would imagine we get their codex.
I would just say solid choice, yeah.
This month.
I'd say solid choice because they didn't really change too much because they're about to get a data slate or they're about to get a codex. So you normally see that in data slates where they just don't really get touched, but I think they're just a solid choice.
Yeah. They're good. They do still do Eldar shenanigans.
Imp Knights?
I think they're meh. Their Grotmist detachment doesn't really do anything. I mean, you could take AdMech units, but I think you still rather would just have a bunch more Knights.
The only thing with Knights is they skew armies more than other armies do, just because they're all high toughness, high wounds. So if you just don't build for that, which I think normal competitive lists do build at least a couple things specifically for it. But if that unit dies early on, then you're just kind of fucked. But I think Meh is fine. I think it's hard. I think it's definitely hard to win a GT with Imperial Knights.
But good players will know, hey, I know what I need to do to deal with this.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yep. Chaos Knights?
I think they're kind of going to be near the Meh also. Their new detachment's the same. It's like the opposite of the Imperial Knights one where you want to take damned units. There is a fun interaction with it, though, because it says sacrifice a damned unit nearby, but it does not say friendly. So, playing against CSM, I'm sacrificing your units, brother. Congratulations.
Sorry, bud. Sorry about it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird that, like it's cool that you can take those units, but I feel like if you're taking those units, you want to use them and not just like try to sacrifice them and stuff. So it's just kind of a weird interaction. But also they have the same issue as Imperial Knights where they just don't. I don't think they have enough stuff. And also, like I have felt this whole edition that the War Dog spam is the lamest way to run Chaos Knights. If I'm a Chaos Knights player, I want to run the big Knights. I'm sorry.
I wanted to, and then we played that one game where your Arcane Vortex Inferno Master overwatched him and then killed him in the next phase.
Sorry about it, dude.
My big old Knight Abominate. Why?
Dude, what is that? GSC?
GSC.
All right, I'm just gonna read verbatim. So,
what Talon said.
Oh, I'm frozen. Hold on. Why am I frozen?
I will say while you're pulling that up, I do love that their army rule has changed where it's not either I'm going to win the game because I'm getting twice as many units, or I'm going to lose the game because I'm paying extra for units I'm not even getting back.
I'm just going to pull it up on here on my phone.
We got a buddy that mains GSC. We got some info.
We got the expert knowledge. All right, Talon says GSC. Here we go. He says, GSC is by far my absolute favorite faction. When their codex dropped, it was completely outclassed by the Sisters book, as it is, you know, with you either get the A team or the B team. Yeah. In addition to an awful army rule, which either left a feels bad for you or for your opponent. There was no in between. It rewarded spamming burst damage and hoping to get free units back. It was obnoxious and simply not fun. With their new Xeno points, as I call them, it now adds reliability to the faction. Their detachment rules are fairly spicy and open up significantly different avenues for flavor and skill expression. I, for one, am thoroughly enjoying the new GSC. I can budget units coming back at list conception, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. The new detachment, I feel, isn't the best as Biosatanic or Biosaintic, still in my opinion, but Final Day gives you access to extremely deep an extremely deep toolbox to frustrate your opponent. As with GSC, the whole army balances on a razor's edge. One of the ways I've explained GSC is try building a bridge out of cards that can support a truck. If you pull it off, amazing, but most of the time, it crumbles. The new detachment I place for GSC is in low B, but in the hands of the most skilled players, it can be S tier. It can catch you out and severely punish you if done right. So let's put GSC in the best. I trust Talon. If he's saying that a skilled player can be an S tier, I trust it.
I mean, the win rates from the Meta Monday also show that their win rate is disgusting right now. The new detachment might not be amazing, but now that you have an army rule that you can guarantee, hey, this is going to happen, it's very, very good.
Honestly, I had thought about starting a GSC army a couple times, but that was the biggest thing that put me off is I fucking hate when my army is not consistent.
It's the definition of inconsistent.
Yeah, it is like that does not sound like a fun game to play. At least playing it like I think for a fun casual game, it sounds really fun. But for when you're trying to do well in a tournament and you can't guarantee anything, is like, well, I hope that I roll enough 4-ups or 5-ups, and that's just bad.
It's like going 4-0 in a GT in that last game, you just don't bring anything back. And it's like, I got all the way up here and it's just done now.
Yep.
You know, it's not inconsistent at all. Votann, baby.
Did you remember in 9th edition when you had all those rerolls?
I do remember. I think Votann's going to end up in solid choice.
I think they're strong, dude.
They might be in strong too. The new detachment is not great.
I don't think you run the new detachment.
No.
It's just so weird because, like, I wish it had more interactions with other stuff in the army, but, like, I feel like it's not focused at all.
That detachment, in my heart, was written for a different army rule. And I just hope that is just going to be a different army rule. Because there is zero interaction with judgment tokens. There's not one thing that interacts with judgment tokens.
Yep.
I think for it's either high and solid or like I think it's gonna be bottom of strong. I think the only thing that holds them back from going higher is they just don't have the tools that top armies have to make them good. They don't have movement shenanigans. Well, I guess Jaegers, but they don't have movement shenanigans. Judgment tokens. If you have a bunch of stuff that starts in transports, it's hard because you can't mark stuff in. If you have a bunch of mortals, they have no protection of mortals. They have no invulnerable saves, except unless you're a Thine, baby. And then you have a full 4-up thimble guy.
True. Dude, I don't know. I think that they should go low strong because I think that those tools are like the stuff that would be in the best tier. Yeah, because they have infiltrators. Pioneers are super efficient at killing weaker infantry, and they also do like great scoring. And then Sagittar and Lane Forts are still good. And whenever they pop off, they fuck.
The army is also
warriors are just great.
Cheap. You can just take a bunch of stuff. Berserkers are 100 points for 16 strength 9 AP2 damage 3 attacks.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I feel whenever I play against you is like you have so much stuff that I have to deal with.
Yeah, and everything getting +1 to hit, +1 to wound. It's good. The detachment was just, I believe, written with a different army rule in mind, and that's what I'm hoping is going to happen as we get a new army rule.
Yep. For guard, I think they go in strong. They were definitely the best, and then they got the nerf to the 6 or the 3-inch deep strike, and then also the Tempestus Aquilans can't just shoot whenever they want anymore. I think it's only whenever you deep strike them they can shoot that flamer.
It is, and it's also they only got to you could only deep strike in your deep strike phase before you could do it to block charges. Because you could rapid ingress
the
through
steep
strike. Yeah.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
It's toxic. Against, like, I can't imagine playing against World Eaters or something.
Well, especially because, like exactly like you said, like playing against World Eaters, they don't have anything to crack tanks besides getting into combat with him. So it's like, oh, hey, but you got to charge that first. Yeah. Oh, you only had one unit charging into it? Sorry.
Like, if that's a 5 or 6 inch charge, you're just gonna have a line of dudes body blocking the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think they're still strong though. I think they were spamming Ogren too, which were really efficient. I think they had Flamers, which Flamers are always good for Overwatch threats. And they were just, I think they were pretty cheap for how many wounds they had.
Lord
as
Solar,
well, but they got nerfed.
Lord Solar also got nerfed. I think he can't issue orders to tanks anymore. If I might be wrong, I can't remember. Something changed about Lord Solar. They're also getting their codex very soon, so we'll see what happens with them. What was their
Plus, they got the Krieg coming out.
What was their Grotmis detachment? I don't even remember. I know it had something to do with Scions.
Tempestus Scions or something. I don't know
for sure.
I don't know how good it is with the nerf, and I don't play the army, or I haven't played against the army enough to like make a educated guess on what that means for the faction.
Yeah. Add Mech. I think that
goes in the bottom, a solid choice. I played against him in a team tournament with T-Suns, and the only thing I was really scared of in that game specifically was the chickens, the big chickens. That have the good anti-tank, but besides that, I wasn't really worried about anything.
Their new Grotmis attachment's very good. Matthew has spoken high and low about it. Not low, he's just spoken nothing but good about it. And it looks very good. You can pick like +2 to move, +1 toughness. I think stealth, I could be wrong.
I don't know if it goes. I think AdMech probably goes at the top of solid choice, maybe.
I think it's like middle to top.
I think definitely, maybe not bottom. I think that's fair. They have a lot of bodies too, to be honest. So anything with a lot of bodies in Pariah Nexus, I think it's just going to is a solid choice, you know?
If you got the money to buy an AdMech army.
Yeah, true. This new detachment can give Canis Rex advance in charge, so that's cool.
I don't think that's going to stay, but it is right now. It does work.
And the first Papa Nurgle's ass.
This is bad.
Sisters got fucking wrecked, dude.
They went from up here to just immediately drop to Papa.
Because they got massive points nerfs in October, right? And then they were running Exorcist spam and they were running Castigators. The Exorcist spam was fucking disgusting. That needed to like go away. As a T-Suns player that hates indirect, I wanted to never see that ever.
It's good indirect too.
It was good, yeah. Especially with Miracle Dice too, where you can like for sure get some hits. But yeah,
it's bad.
That got nerfed. Their army rule got nerfed.
They Triumph went up 50. I don't know if it was this status or the last one. Triumph went up like 50 points.
Ton.
And then on top of that, you only get one. You don't get her extra Miracle Dice anymore. Yeah,
you only flip something to a 6, and then you only generate way less Miracle Dice now, and it's only like you only generate once per phase, right? If something does.
Oh yeah, I don't know for sure.
I don't think it's each time anymore. I think it's just once per that phase, which is crazy.
Especially their new detachment wants you to just burn through Miracle Dice, and you don't have the generation to do it at all.
You ain't got the juice anymore.
So they down bad. Super down bad. Yeah. Demons got a bunch of fun stuff this Grotmis.
Dude, I don't know a ton about. So as a T-Suns player, like I kind of was interested in the Zinch one, so I deep dived that. That detachment is super fluffy and fun. I don't know how competitive it is. I think that at minimum is a solid choice because it still has tools, but I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. It's like you get a certain amount of points and I can spend them, but I give them to you, my opponent.
You do get good ones though.
Say again?
So you get good ones. Like you can reroll more stuff than your opponent can with their dice.
Yeah, but I think it's just cool. It's like perfect for Tzeentch, where he's like giving benefits to your opponent, and then your opponent has to like give them back to you, but they also get something out of it. It's so fluffy and fun.
It would be a
but
fun
I know that
game.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely want to build some Tzeentch demons. I think that would be dope. But I think Slaanesh takes the cake. I think that, from what everybody's been talking about in the Discord, is going to be meta. I think it's very good.
I think this is going to... I feel like if we're ranking just Slaanesh or even Khorne, I think this goes here. But if you're ranking as a whole, it probably goes like top of strong.
I think we just rank whatever's best.
Yeah, let's just put it in there. Best. The Slaanesh detachment's disgusting. It's so good.
Yeah, and I think from the statistics that have come out, they have like that detachment has like a 70% win rate
it's
or something, like something crazy. Which it's a small, it's a small
pool.
Exactly. So it could just be someone spiking super hard, but I think we put that in the best. And this is just predictions. Like we don't really know exactly what it's going to look like.
The Khorne detachment's also very fun.
Do you know anything about that?
I don't really. Not a lot. Then you want to go fast. They got the same stratagem that World Eaters got, where if you kill something on a point, you make it sticky. Then instead of like dying on a point, so you just kind of want to go fast.
That's cool.
But the Slaanesh one is very good.
Yeah, cool. I think the Nurgle one is also good. Some people in one of our Discords weren't ranking it very high, but some other buddies were ranking it high, so I don't really know.
I think it's
going into Drukhari,
numbers were better than people thought it would be for Nurgle.
Going into Drukhari, we have another visit from Talon. He has another message for us. Talon says, after the last 2 points hikes, I find Drukhari to be high B tier. The army is immensely fragile, but probably has some of the best burst damage output in the game. In addition to being extremely non-interactive with the plethora of fire and fade or hopping back in boats, they do require a rather skilled hand to get meaningful results. The new Reaper's Wager detachment does offer interesting play. Even if you decide to take only Drukhari, the enhancements and strats are quite strong by themselves. That said, I've noticed a trend where more lists are gravitating towards a more Coven-centric build. More durability overall with access to out-of-phase damage. Yeah, so he ranks it low to high B. So we put that in solid choice.
I think that's a solid. I think that's a solid choice for a solid choice. I think the new detachment has actual play for it. It's got a crazy fun theme too, with Harlequins and Drukhari like fighting over who's going to win. I've played 2 or 3 games against my buddy Alex since it came out, and it looks very good. I love the way that they bounce off of each other. Like he said, the stratagems are really good. Getting they have an advanced shoot and charge stratagem. I can't think of any of the other ones. There's a Harlequin unit. I think it's 110 points. It's a little boat, and it's got a strength 12 or 13, AP 3 or 4, flat 4 damage gun. It's 2 shots. It's very strong.
Oh shit!
And it can have smoke, and it has a 4-up invulnerable save.
That's pretty good. That's very good.
I think Drukhari is still solid. Scourges are dumb strong. They'll just murder anything they look at. Talos are extremely annoying to deal with. T7 with a 5-up feel no pain, 7 wounds.
It's one of those armies that if you're not great at the game or you're a new player, you're gonna have a bad time. But if you know the ins and outs of the army, you're gonna have success with them.
Yeah, playing against somebody that knows the army it's hard. You're gonna work for that.
I think before the points hikes, they were definitely in the top category. But especially I think at the highest level, they just lost too much to really be competing for those same spots.
We're going to talk about something disgusting. Whoever made this into abomination.
Dude, I think that goes at the top.
Yeah,
like the top of
it should be up there.
The best. Yeah.
Dude, just when you think it can't get any worse, they nerf monoliths. Yay, they don't 6-inch deep strike anymore. Let's go, brother. Vindication. And then they bring out the Star Shatter detachment. It's like,
yeah, dude.
It's disgusting. A reactive move that can be used on Catan, so you shoot them once if you're not killing them. And I don't know anything in the game that one kills a Catan by itself. It's reactive moving.
It is hard to do. Which honestly, maybe now the generic Space Marines can deal with it with a Stern Guard, just with how many mortals they pump out.
Stern Guard probably could one-shot a Catan.
Are they... Stern Guard are anti-monster and anti-vehicle, right?
Only in the Librarian detachment, and you have to be leading them with the Librarian. I think they one-shot a Catan on average, though.
Well, yeah. Jeff was saying that 92% of the time you do 24 mortals. That's... Oh, yeah, that's good enough.
They will one-shot a Catan.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only thing in the game that one-shots a Catan.
Yeah, I think Necrons are incredibly good. I think they're going to be one of the best armies in the game over the next couple months.
If you can get into melee with them, they don't... No, they have a guy that lets you fall back, and I think only one guy... They have some sort of fall I can shoot. It's dumb strong. They're going to kill whatever they look at. Nothing's safe. And you don't need the Silent King anymore for the rerolls.
Yeah. I think you still run the Silent King, don't you? In this detachment?
He's just expensive. Like, listening to Sigler talk about it, he's good in the detachment, but you don't have to have him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about one of my favorite armies to play, and it's Orks. Orks. I tried the Big Hunt. In my head, after the data slate changes, great changes for Orks. Huge quality of life change for the Big Hunt and just Orks in general. So the Big Hunt, if you didn't know, you could either you could only choose the Warlord, a vehicle, or a monster.
Oh yeah, monster also.
And that was it. Like, you couldn't target character units, so it was so restrictive on what you could pick. So now you can pick any character unit, which is super nice. And now you can just call the WAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAA way better to play Orks now than it was before. Because going second and having to call a defensive wall and communicating to your opponent what they needed it to do sucked ass, dude. It sucked.
It's a wall. Let's just back it up. Put it in full reverse, boys.
I think Orks were not. I don't think they were at the. I think they were just solid like before, and I think they're just better now.
Attachment.
What's weird is like I think even when they had a low win rate, you still saw people win GTs with them. I think that they're either low to best or top of strong.
I think that's a solid. I don't know which one I'd put it in. Like if I was ranking it, but
I think I would say. I think
for sure here, 100% for sure here.
Yeah, so put it there for now.
Let's see if we want to go
because. With the introduction of the Tactical Brigade, you get your rerolls the hit for flash gets again. And that is a huge hole that you're filling in Orks. So, and I'm playing with a couple things with running kill rigs in Tactical Brigade, because in the wall, you potentially give them +3 strength. So now you're wounding just regular Space Marines on 2s with Beast Snagga boys, and that's insane. Yeah. And then running a war boss. There's so many options you can do in Tactical Brigade, and also the biggest thing potentially is like you get secret mission play with the Storm Boys because they're low cost, and you start them on the table, and then you just pick them up, and you don't have to bring them back out for the rest of the game because they go into strat reserve.
Yeah.
So you can just hold on to that 165-point unit for the end of the game if you don't need it, and then just boom, 20 points on secondary, which makes it so you don't have to move as aggressively and get into your opponent's face. You can play a much more defensive game. But also Warhorde is just solid, so it's either going to be one of those two, and it's between strong and the best.
Yeah. It definitely goes here, and it maybe goes like right at the bottom of the best.
Yep. I think so too.
So Death Guard, their index attachment's good. People are liking it. I don't know if it's as good as their Grotmust attachment. I don't think it's as good as the index, but Death Guard as a whole are still really good. People are still just running Terminator spam with the Sorcerer and Terminator armor, I think it is, because you get -1 damage in the fight phase, and then you're just not chewing through those Terminators. On top of -1 ballistic skill.
Yeah, Chris said that he thinks the other detachment's better, because the plagues and the sticky objectives are just too good to pass up, and then losing the sustain 2 and extra AP strat is too much to pass up on.
So he thinks the index is better?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the other one has play, but the index attachment is just really, really... it's been fixed. Yeah, it's been comprehensive. Everything likes it in the detachment. Mortarian's cheap enough where people are running Mortarian again. And he's not as strong as Magnus or Angron, but a T12, 16 wound, 5-up feel no pain body is a lot to chew through for like 350 points. Dude,
my Magnus 1v1 Mortarian and beat that dude's ass, dude. Well. I clap those cheeks.
You can kill Mortarian, you can't kill an E-champ. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Anytime I need to kill your Votann, like I just need to kill one model, it's like 4 up.
You got to charge. You got to get your dev wounds to kill them.
Yeah,
I think they're solid.
Yeah, I think they're solid. They're much better than they were at the beginning of the edition, I think.
Oh, they were dog water at the they were like 3 tiers below Papa Nurgle's ass cheeks at the beginning of the edition.
Yup.
World Eaters. Now that's a solid Grommis detachment, baby. That's good.
Dude, it's very good. It's very exciting to build a list around that too. My only issue that I think keeps World Eaters from potentially, it's definitely out of the best, but it maybe even potentially out of strong is they don't, if they're going up against Orks, what are they using to break the Orks out of the transport that they're in? They have to use something good. Like, they don't have a shooting threat to take people. Besides, like, Forge Fiends, I guess.
I don't know. I feel like World Eaters, I think they still go in strong. I think they do detachment. I mean, that's one specific matchup, too.
Yeah.
I think into a lot of other stuff, they're fine. It just, the new detachment makes the army so consistent because you always have advance and charge on the units that need to have it.
Well, I guess it's not just, I don't think it's just stuff in transports, but, like, anything that has stuff to move block with, like T-Suns, like have just free cultists, or not free cultists, but cheap cultists to go move block, and then you have to charge it with something, and then I can stay back. You know what I mean?
That's true. But I think you just run 5 berserkers and go kill it with 5 berserkers and call it a day. Or Chaos Spawn also just kill trash. I think it goes.
Chaos Spawn are so fucking annoying to deal with, dude.
It's got a really good win rate right now too. I think it's like the second or third highest. I think on the win rate for the new detachments.
Oh yeah,
it's got a very
the new detachment is awesome. I love it, dude.
Yeah, I think it might go like here in strong, but I definitely think it goes up in strong. It's good.
CSM, I think, go into high strong. The only reason I'm not putting him in the best is because I don't know if I've ever actually played against CSM to make an educated decision. So, but I know that the Creations of Bile is super fluffy and it's very good.
AC/DC got nerfed, right? His last data slate, I think.
Yep.
I mean, it's AC/DC is like the Black Templar spam, where if you just don't have the volume to kill it, then you just have a bunch of cultists in your face you can't kill.
Yeah, and that was a really heavy skew list that you saw a lot in teams that I don't think you'll see as much anymore. But the Creations of Bile, you start out the battle giving your infantry either one or you can give them one guaranteed buff, or you can give them 2 random buffs, and the strats are like crazy. Let me pull it up. They have very good stratagems. The Chaos Space Marines, Creations of Bile. Yeah, so they get access to Advance and Charge. They get access to Fight on Death on a 4-up. And if they're a damned unit, you add 1 to it.
It's a solid
or subtract 1 from it, technically.
Yeah.
Yep. And then what else do they get? Oh, they get rerolling wound rolls against the character unit, which is insane. On top of the Creations of Bile, where they can either have like +1 toughness, they can have +1 to the weapon skill, +1 to the ballistic skill, add 2 to their move, and then add 1 to the attacks, which all of those are just pretty solid. So if you just want to try to roll 2 dice to get 2 random ones, that's insane.
Yeah, especially if you get to reroll it with old boy on your team.
Yeah, Fabius Bile. Yeah,
Thousand Sun. Whoops.
No, you're good. I think it's definitely strong. T-Suns are definitely in the strong tier.
Yeah.
I think they're just outside of the best with the nerfs, but I think that I could take them and still have a chance at winning a GT just because they still have so many tools. And the list that I was running at team tournaments where I was just fucking clapping people is you only lose like one unit and you can still make that same list work.
T-Suns are just, they don't play the game like anybody else.
No.
You're just playing a completely different game.
Nope.
And in the hands of the right player, it's just, you're just going to win. Especially if your opponent doesn't know what they do.
Yeah, it's so much harder to play against T-Suns when you don't know. Even if your opponent explains it to you, if you don't know exactly what they do, you forget, and it's like it's hard to deal with. But I love them so much, dude. I just love playing that army because if I ever need an answer to a problem, I have it somewhere in the toolkit, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. Put that shit in fucking Papa Nurgle.
I don't even know what this army does, dude. I have no idea.
I don't know. Don't care.
Sorry. Don't know. I think there's some people that on meme lists can win just because they're good at the game, but I don't. Mm-hmm. I don't know what this
I don't shit does. Care enough about that faction to make a decision.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything about it that's like, yeah, that's an interesting.
I'm putting it above the sisters though.
Ooh. Dude, that's going to make Dylan upset. All right, we got another visit from Talon. Talon says that Tau have only been on the rise in regards to the meta in the past few months. Retaliation Cadre has been the staple, as it offers access to some quite interesting breakpoints. Losing access to 3-inch deep strike will be a hindrance, of course, to a degree. Now, the Sunforge Melta suits will never be within Melta range out of reserve. The new detachment has brought in far more nuanced playstyles. Just need to get within range of an auxiliary unit to get +1 AP, meaning Skyrazor AP4, disgusting. Riptide's AP4. Hammerheads are AP6, I believe. Golly. This all paired with stripping cover, ludicrously easy. It is an afterthought to Tau. Their main weakness is high pressure factions, orcs. But the new detachment can offset this as you get a detachment rule all game. Plus, having access to advance and shoot on anything, they can cut angles that an unsuspecting opponent may not have seen. But the biggest factor is the +2 to strength on your guns for 1 CP. That brings Riptides to strength 10, AP 4, damage 4. Fucking hell. Or Skyrays to strength 16, AP 4, damage D6 +1. So they can reach even better breakpoints. The detachment is revolving around auxiliary units, so that is their weakness. And he ranks them a low A, which is strong. I think that's fair.
I think the nerfs to Ret Cadre are. I think the 6-inch deep strike hurts a lot.
I fucking hated armies that could just 3-inch deep strike, and like it was so stressful playing against Tau because it's like how do I screen this out? Like you could just drop down on Magnus and then just fucking plop.
Yeah.
Dead.
I think with the nerfs, I don't know. I think they either go here like in solid choice.
He says low A.
Low A.
To low strong.
It's just hard because I feel like
we can rearrange the list
we'll fix
at the end
because I feel like some of these things are better than Tau.
Yep.
But we'll look at the end. Grey Knights, their new detachment's cool. It's very good too.
Mm-hmm.
It unfortunately just makes the things that were already strong kind of just better.
At least it gives you a reason to run Castle and Crow now.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can run them. It's not. You really just want to
also just not run him.
Yeah, I think it definitely goes in strong. I mean it.
Yeah.
The 6. I can't think what's their baby walkers. I can't think what the baby walkers are called.
Dread Knights.
The 6 Dread Knight list was already impressive, and I think this just makes it better. You do lose out on Mist of Deimos. You do lose out on True Silver Armor, Armor of Contempt, but that stratagem already got nerfed, and it's not nearly as good as it was before.
True.
In shooting, at least. In melee, it's still pretty strong because there's usually only one activation. But I think it goes in strong. I think their win rates are good too right now. Being able to 6-inch deep strike and then charge with anything that's not a Terminator or Dread Knight is just a strong ability.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, they have very good defensive profiles too, having a 2 of 4 up on everything on. All right, they don't have it on strike squads, right?
All like the dinky dudes don't have 4 pinballs, but they all have 2 up armor saves.
Yeah, 2 up armor saves is so good.
Tyranids.
What do we know about Nids? I know that they're good.
Their new detachment's okay. I think it actually has a pretty good win rate. It buffs warriors.
The biggest thing with Nids is they have such a versatile range of data sheets and stuff that they can do that I think that they'll always be there will be something good in their codex.
Yeah, I think they're going to end up right in Solid Choice. They're just always good.
Yeah,
especially in the hands of a good player.
Yeah,
Tyranids. It's not like a good player that's playing Nids versus a good player that's playing Imperial Knights. This is going to be way scarier. This can only 100%. Do so much.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so now we got everything. What'd you say?
I would say Hive Tyrant solid. You get a free stratagem every turn on something within 12.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah. Exocrines are very good too.
Yeah.
They're damage 3, aren't they?
Exocrines are flat damage 3, yes.
Yeah, flat damage 3 into a ton of stuff is very good.
So rearranging stuff. This can honestly probably get bumped up here with the new detachment and with the buffs they got. Yeah, I think.
Dude, I think that Tactical Brigade is going to be the meta for Orks.
It's either tactical or just Warlord.
Because I was like, well, you don't get the lethality that you get in Warhorde, and you lose some durability from the -1 to wound, but also being able to just order stuff to get +1 strength pushes a lot of the army over a breakpoint that like power claws. You put them to strength 10 for like knobs and stuff, and then they're wounding T5 stuff on 2s. Like that's an insane breakpoint.
Like any Terminators.
Yep. And then like the character is going to go to
strength 12.
You can give him, he can go to strength 13 in the WAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAA versus Orc units.
Okay. Yeah, strength 13, you're winning T12 on 3s.
I think you take Gaz and some Mega Knobs too, because if you're charging into a tank that's T12, Gaz gives them +1 to wound, and then they go up to strength 13 with the order. So they're wounding anything that's strength or toughness 12 on a 2. That's insane.
Yeah.
And you have a ton of mission play, so I just think that's a good detachment.
I think these two should be at the top of strong. I think T-Sons is just always strong and Nane's a good player, and I think the New World Leaders detachment is I think it's just very good. Especially
I agree.
I think compared to like Dark Angels, because even Berserkers go to AP2 now.
I love the Lord on Juggernaut in the new detachment.
Yeah, the flat damage 3.
It's so good.
That dude rocks around
with so many attacks
12 attacks or 11 attacks that are damage 3.
Yeah, that's just so good.
If Votann are gonna be up here, I think that they're at the bottom of it.
You think so?
Yeah. I think they just don't have the tools that all of these armies above it have.
Well, so if you compare them to stuff that's in the best, like Necrons outrange them by a ton, so they're going to have a hard time accessing them.
The range is better, the damage is better.
Yeah, Space Marines just have better tools to deal with them. GSC...
I think GSC would be a good... I think Votann would honestly be favored in GSC because they have the volume, but if you look at GSC compared to other stuff and Votann compared to other stuff, GSC just have the tools to win a bunch against a bunch of these other armies.
True. Yeah, I think Chaos Demon's your favorite into as well.
Yeah, just give it because it's all 4 pinballs no matter the AP.
Yeah. I think in Tactical Brigade, Tactical Brigade is very good into Votann.
Yeah, I think it could be.
Because I think you still run kill rigs, you run gas, so you're popping like land forts now. I'm going to be wounding with gas. At least you're wounding them on a 2 with everything. That's insane.
Yeah, I think you were wounding on a 2 before, right? Because you get.
Well, I'm saying with everything, like the Mega Knobs.
The leader would wound it on a 2, and then the other guys would wound it on a 4, right?
Well, the Mega Knobs just have twin kill saws.
Oh, Mega Knobs,
yeah. Yeah, so they go to strength 13 with the order. And I'm just saying outside of the wall, too.
Yeah, outside, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just good. CSM, I think that's fine. I think Custodes could probably go. I think that's actually fine where all that is at.
Yeah.
What do you think about Tau? You think Tau needs to drop down?
I don't know enough about it, honestly. I would think he's probably go off of Talon's judgment. I don't know if I'm just looking at all of these up here. I don't know if Dark Angels goes up here. Deathwing Knights are hard to kill, but I don't think they really do anything else besides that. Gladius got nerfed. Yeah, you would take
Gladius, Dark Angels.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think this is kind of down here now
with the rest of the Space Marines.
Yeah,
because that's generic. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Tau is fine right there because they just kind of play a different game than everybody. But I think, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm just going to take Talon's word for it, and maybe I'll get some more games into them and make my own judgment.
Drukhari, I probably think goes up a little bit because they got nerfed, but I think
they're still solid.
They're still really good.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that's too like if you have it in the hands of a skilled player, like that's just going to go up. Death Guard, that's fine. Blood Angels.
This should honestly be up here with how much Matthew likes it. I just don't know enough about Mech to make a choice about it.
I just don't know how much they improved, and I never really felt scared of them whenever I was playing against them.
Yeah.
But it also could just be, too, that Matthew's the only good... Matthew's the only good AdMech player that I played against, and he's beat me, but it's just because I made, obvious mistakes, so I don't know. I've never played them at my peak, you know?
Mm-hmm. I've only ever played them... I played them at a GT or at a RTT, but
was it at the Guildhall Gaming one?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing Votann, so I just had enough stuff to chew through all the chaff.
Yeah, Votann goes into it very efficiently.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of this is pretty good.
Is Space Wolves really meh?
I think compared to everything else here, it is. I don't know. It might be in solid choice.
I would just put it at the bottom of solid choice.
You could swap these. I think the Eldar is just kind of now.
Dude, I was looking into Eldar when I was thinking about starting him, and nothing that I saw was really getting the juices going. Yeah. You know, there's nothing I was like, oh, I need to play that. You know,
I think Blood Angels might be right here.
Yeah.
This was Death Watch. I just don't know enough about Death Watch.
I feel like Blood Angels needs one more small unit in their list.
Yeah.
I think Sanguinary Guard are just too expensive.
Sanguinary Guard are very expensive. If you take a unit of 6 of them with Dante, it's 395 points.
Yeah. I mean, that one game that we played that you beat me and you were running 2 Ballistus Dreads, the Ballistus Dreads are very good.
Yeah, I do.
Either that or the Vindicators.
Ballistus Dreads. You definitely need either Ballistus or Vindicate. You need some short of shooting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this is pretty good. Knights are knights.
Yeah.
You can only... the skill ceiling's just very limited of how high you can go with it.
Especially in Pariah Nexus where you have to have small stuff to do actions. If you just don't have access to it, you're just not going to do as good as others. And then Sisters may not be that bad, but they just got absolutely shit on.
They deserve to be down there for what they've been doing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, all right. That's our tier list. I think we've got everything where it needs to go. If you enjoyed watching this, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell.
Hit that bell up there.
Tell your friends. And let us know what kind of content you want to see in the future.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope you all have a great new year, 2025.
Happy New Year.
The year of chaos, baby.
Yeah.
Peace.